Good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
Welcome to Monaco for this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. It's a race that is truly steeped in history, but before the drivers turn their attention to winning, they first need to get through today's tricky practice session. Low's hairpin is the slowest corner of any track on the Formula One calendar. It's taken at just 48 kilometers an hour, but provides a stunning view on the first lap as the entire grid bunges up and tiptoes through the corner, hoping not to leave any carbon fiber parts behind.
This is such a tight bend that a special steering rack is used just to get around this very corner, as the cars would not normally be able to make the turn. There is the possibility of overtaking through Lows, but more often than not, you'll end up damaging your car.
We're going to be logging some extra data during this session. Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts, we'll just confirm they're performing to spec. Car repairs have set us back a little. There's 4 laps of that remaining. We're seeing one. Okay, test over, but I'm afraid we didn't get what we needed. We're going to have to run it again. We've had to spend time repairing the damage to the car. Okay, decent repair, but there's still one to find. Keep at it. like to get a tie-away program done on at least one compound during these sessions, we can get some good strategy and development information. Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Keep it up.
This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay? Hi. Just letting you know that we've had the team's expectations through for the upcoming qualifying session.
Are at one of the most difficult circuits on the racing calendar. Welcome to Monaco for today's Formula One qualifying. And as we wait, poised for the start of what will hopefully be a thrilling qualifying, why don't you tell us, Anthony Davidson, about the things you can do to really get the most out of a car in a session like this?
Well, you're largely limited by the Parc Fermé regulations, of course. Back in the old days, pre-2004, you'd work on both a qualifying setup and a race setup over practice, and then swap them over after qualifying. So the race car was quite different at times to the qualifying car. Nowadays, though, you have to find a compromise that works for both. There are a few things that you can still adjust during the session, such as the differential, the brake bias, and the front wing angle, but that's about it. So it's more about optimizing what you do have and adapting your own style to suit the track conditions.
Right, it's not going to be easy getting into the next qualifying session, but we know you'll give it your all. Proceeding with the alert slip. The front wing is in a really bad... We've had to spend time repairing the damage to the car.
Hello. I just wanted to pass on the team's expectations for this race. Good luck.
take a deep breath and enjoy the moment. It's a very special time of the season once again, as we prepare for racing here this afternoon. There's no better test of driver, no more prestigious race to win, no bigger an occasion than the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today, though, ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. And as drivers start thinking about getting a good start and how on earth to get through Saint-Devote in one piece, I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, if we might be seeing a safety car or two today.
Well, you wouldn't exactly bet against it, would you? Statistically, it is pretty common, of course. About 80% of all Monaco Grand Prix will have at least one safety car. And that's despite the incredible work of the marshals around here, who you'll often see lifting cars out of the way just under the yellow flag conditions. The teams will always plan for the worst case scenario though, and they'll be making sure various caution periods are built into their strategy models for the race.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Valtteri Bottas and Verstappen, Grosjean, Ocon, Kvyat and Fernando Alonso, Perez, Sainz, Felipe Massa and Magnussen, Van Dorn, Wehrlein, Nico Hülkenberg and Jolyon Palmer, Stroll and a Sauber rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium. And as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
From my point of view, it would have to be the Sauber driver. They pushed and pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
On to the constructors then. Ferrari moved to the top of the table. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.